The night was quiet, but John's world was about to collapse. He lived just outside the borders of a gated community. He had built his house years before the HOA society was even formed. According to the law, their rules did not apply to him, but the HOA didn't see it that way. Karen, the powerful and cunning HOA president, wanted his property. She tried to pressure him to sell. He refused, and that's when the nightmare began. One evening, police cars surrounded his home. Officers stormed in. "John Carter, you're under arrest," one of them barked. "For what?" John shouted. "Violation of HOA code, illegal construction, fraud, all lies." But they dragged him away in handcuff. The cold iron bars shut behind him. John sat in disbelief. He had no family left. His parents were gone, and his younger brother lived far away. He was alone, framed, and forgotten. Karen watched from outside, smiling. "Enjoy your new home, John. This is just the beginning." Days passed. The other inmates mocked him. The guards treated him like a criminal. But John held on to one thing: hope. One morning, the jail doors opened. A young woman walked in, her presence sharp and confident. She introduced herself. "My name is Aisha Khan. I'm your lawyer now, and I believe you're innocent." John frowned. "Why would you help me? Everyone else has turned away." Her voice softened. "Because I know what it's like to be powerless, and because justice matters." Over weeks, she fought tirelessly, filed petitions, questioned every piece of evidence, and finally, she won his bail. John walked out of prison, free but not safe. The HOA had already taken over his property. Karen's men had seized his house, changed the locks, and declared it HOA land. But Aisha was relentless. "We'll take them to court," she said firmly. "If they framed you once, we can prove it." The battle began. Every court hearing was a war. Karen hired expensive lawyers, twisted every rule, and bribed officials. But Aisha countered with logic, with law, and with fire in her voice. Each day, John watched her argue, admired her courage, and wondered about the pain hidden behind her determined eyes. One night, John was walking home. A van screeched to a halt. 4 masked gangsters jumped out, chains and knives in hand. "Karen sends her regards," one growled. The first chain swung. John ducked, his fist connecting with brutal force. The man hit the ground. The others froze. One of them whispered in terror, "Wait, I know him. That's John Carter, the street-fighting champion. He nearly killed a man back in college." But John's face darkened. He remembered the street fights, the blood, the night his girlfriend had died in his arms after a brawl went wrong. Since then, he had sworn never to fight again. The hesitation gave them an opening. A blade slashed his shoulder. Blood poured. Before they could finish him, headlights flashed. A stranger shouted and dialed the police. Sirens wailed. The gangsters scattered. John woke in a hospital bed. His shoulder was bandaged. Beside him, Aisha sat with tears in her eyes. "You could have died," she whispered. He forced a smile. "Would have been easier than court." She shook her head. "Don't say that. You matter, more than you think." That night, John saw not just a lawyer, but a woman carrying her own struggles. Soon, he learned her truth. She was a single mother. Her husband had abandoned her when she was pregnant. For 2 years, she had raised her little girl alone, often without a home. John looked at her, then at her child, and something inside him softened. The final hearing arrived. Karen stood tall, Her expensive lawyers lined up. She sneered at John. "After today, you'll be nothing but a memory." The judge entered. Silence filled the courtroom. Karen's lawyers attacked first, presenting forged documents and false witnesses. But then Aisha stood. Her voice rang clear, steady, and powerful. She revealed the fraud. She presented evidence of Karen's corruption, secret payments, illegal land seizures, even the gangster attack. Gasps filled the room. Finally, she turned to John. "Your Honor, this man's only crime was refusing to bow to greed." The judge's gavel struck. "Order. This court finds John Carter innocent. The property is legally his, and this HOA is guilty of fraud." Karen's face went pale. The officers turned on Karen. Handcuffs clicked around her wrists. "You can't do this to me," she screamed. "I own this town." But no one listened. The Queen had fallen. Her board members scattered like rats, leaving her to face the law alone. Justice had been served. Weeks later, John walked into his reclaimed home. The dust had been cleared, the locks replaced. But it felt empty. He looked at Aisha and her daughter. "You need a home," he said gently, "and this place needs laughter again. Stay here, both of you." Tears filled her eyes. "Are you sure?"